Morning guys, welcome back to the original corner. Nice to be back over here. I've a little bit more settled. Nice to see a few of you on Dan's live last night. It got a little bit wild there at times, but mods, well done over there last night. You did an absolute brilliant job. But anyway, let's get into today. Well, the faceless cowards are at play everywhere. We know that. No alerts going out half the time. They don't put channels like mine out there for people to see. They're like a bunch of kids in a school playground, really. You know, hiding behind anonymity and big tech money. Very similar to a larger scale BBC, thinking they're just above everybody else and that they're the new big brother. Sadly, all they do is prove us right every time they do it. What faceless cowards they are, but what can you do? But they'll shoot themselves in the foot eventually. There's many other platforms popping up now. People are leaving YouTube in droves. So they're only doing themselves out of revenue, really. But anyway, let's get on to why I'm normally here, besides having a go at them. Now, I was watching our local news last night, and in particular, the NHS in our local area. Now, one of them is Sandwell, the Sandwell Trust, which has been in mainstream media quite recently. And this is where I watched this interview. A spokesman came out, was talking to the press. Usual bull, you know, we're full, we're bursting to the seams. We got staff shortages and so on. But not because of what you might think. Now, he said on top of the lurgy patients, he said we've got our normal influx of seasonal illnesses, accidents, obviously, when it's slippery and icy, and basically things like that. But the one that he did say, which is really pushing them to the limits here, and this is a direct quote from him. This was from BBC interviews. He said, quote, "We are getting a lot of admissions with strokes and heart attacks in increasing numbers," unquote. But when pushed and asked, he absolutely refused to comment on why. Now, as they say, silence speaks a million words. But, yeah. Is it because certain opinions are censored even on mainstream media? Well, I'll leave you to make your own minds up on that. Because if I say one way or the other, I'm going to get accused of coercion or something, aren't I? But I dare say a lot of your opinions fall in line with mine. But now all mainstream media and government seem to be focusing on the cost of living. Well, we all know a lot of prices have come up because of imports and the way the EU is punishing Britain through Brexit. Now, I won't go into Brexit, because that's a whole new kettle of fish, and quite frankly, you just don't know which way to bloody look in there. But one way to get over this would be to produce more of our own goods, including food. Grow it, feed it, whatever. Now, this to me would seem a normal way of looking at it. If you can't get what you want, you either make it or grow it. It works out cheaper. But now we've got the governments actually looking at a scheme of what they're calling rewilding the land, which is basically subsidising and paying farmers to leave their land to go back to the wild. This can only help the environment. Well, that is a complete contradiction and a turnaround to before Christmas, isn't it? When they were buying bits of land off farmers and forcing them to sell their land so they could absolutely decimate it to run a bloody great big railroad through it. Yeah. We've got the gas and electricity coming across from the channel. We're reliant on everybody else to keep this country bloody running in that way. And it's only punishment, and they're profiteering as well, obviously. There's an alleged pandemic on. Everybody's going to try and profiteer where they can, including government. We've seen that. But I won't go into that today. You know, they are creating this two-tier society. It's going to be us and them. They'll be able to afford food, commodities, luxuries, and we will barely exist. As everybody says, they will have everything, we will have nothing. Well, let me tell you, we won't be happy about it. And I, for one, would rather die of starvation and cold than bow on my knees to these tyrannical clowns. I really would. But I sit here, and what gives me that get up and go, not that I look like I have a lot of get up and go most of the time, but is the fact that most of us have got two things that they have never have and never will have. That's our morals and our integrity. You lose them, you've got nothing. You've only got to look at the clowns running the country. They've lost all that. On top of trust. Yeah, they don't even know the meanings of those words. I mean, you've only got to look at the channel. We've got Border Force now threatening to strike. As I said the other day, the government have spent millions training them, buying them new equipment to do a job that they're refusing to do. Well, go on, I dare you, strike. See where that gets you. Because without your helping them, which you shouldn't be doing anyway. Remember what happened last time a dinghy was left on its own out there? 27 odd lives were lost. You strike. Now, I don't agree with what you're doing in the channel, but you strike. It's not going to stop them coming. The French will escort them to the middle of the channel, dump them, and when there's another tragedy, they will blame you. And of course, the government will find a way of blaming us. So if you think you're doing the right thing by going on strike, go right ahead. Unbelievable. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're employed to do a job and you don't do that job, or you refuse to do that job, then you should be removed from that job. And any normal employer would employ someone who's capable of doing it and willing to do it. Unless you work for the government, of course. Anyway, I'll leave it there for today, people. I don't like to go on too long, as you know. Welcome to the new subs. I did notice a couple more jump in there. God bless UK. in particular, welcome, mate. Glad you decided to come over. Hopefully you like what I do. Some do, some don't. I ain't really bothered. But I prefer those that do. But welcome to you, buddy. Yep, that's it for today, folks. It's Friday. You know what I'm like on a Friday. I could be doing anything. I've got a delivery coming. We've got some new blinds coming today, which I will have to put up later, whether my mate turns up or whether I go and see him. So, but until the next one, enjoy your weekend. If I don't see you over the weekend, Dan is thinking of doing a live Sunday, Police Abusing Powers. So if he does, I'll see some of you there. And until then, my thanks for your support, my respect to each and every one of you as always. And until the next one, as always, stay safe, stay strong, stay free from tyranny and oppression. Enjoy yourselves, people.